Greg McKeown, in his book Essentialism, shares a story which demonstrates the importance of a commitment to others, especially when it comes to leadership. So these are his words. A woman named Cynthia once told me a story about a time her father had made plans to take her on a night out in San Francisco. Cynthia was only 12 years old. Her father planned the date for months. They had everything planned out, including her attending the last hour of a presentation he was giving that afternoon. At the end of the presentation, they would meet at the back of the room and leave quickly before anyone talked to him. The evening included catching a trolley ride in Chinatown, eating their favorite food, which would be Chinese, shopping for souvenirs, seeing the sights, and even catching a movie. After all that, they would grab a taxi back to the hotel where they'd jump into the pool for a swim. Her dad liked to sneak in after the pool was closed, she mentioned. After all that, they'd order a hot fudge sundae from room service and watch the Late Late Show. They discussed this all several times, and the anticipation was the pleasure of it all. Everything was going on plan. When her father was leaving the convention center, he ran into an old college friend and business associate. They hadn't seen each other for years. They embraced, and his friend said, "I am so glad you are doing some work with our company now. When Lois and I heard about it, we thought it would be perfect. We want to invite you, and of course Cynthia, to get a spectacular seafood dinner down at the wharf." Cynthia's father replied, "Bob, it's so great to see you, and dinner at the wharf sounds great." Cynthia felt dispirited. Her daydreams of the trolley ride, ice cream, sundaes evaporated instantly. Moreover, she hated seafood and could just imagine how bored she would be listening to the adults talk all night. But her father continued, "Not tonight. Cynthia and I have a special date planned, don't we?" He winked at Cynthia, grabbed her hand, and ran out the door to continue on an unforgettable night in San Francisco with his daughter, just as he'd promised. Who was Cynthia's father? None other than the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. Covey lived the principles of courage, and he said no. He's famous for having said, "The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing." So I want you to ponder how we spend our time demonstrates our values and the importance that we place on those in our lives. Look at the difference that this simple encounter made in the life of Cynthia Covey. Imagine how her own relationship with her father grew exponentially because he declined that dinner offer. So I want you also to think of how Covey showed his priorities and demonstrated his commitment to his daughter. How can you demonstrate your commitment to others? You may want to take a few moments to write in your learning journal and respond how you can demonstrate your commitment to others. John Rohn also focuses on the importance of relationships in life. Building and maintaining relationships are so essential that he entitled one of his 12 pillars to successful life as the gift of relationships. Relationships represent the most beautiful highs of life as well as the most tormented lows of life. It is all what you make of them. The way to cultivate relationships is to give time and ask for forgiveness. So, how would you define commitment to others? The world would have you think a wealthy life is a lifestyle of riches and belongings, and a truly wealthy person is one who builds and maintains quality relationships of trust. The wealthy principle is simply as follows: be so busy giving others recognition that you don't really need it for yourself. So, I want you to think, how would you define wealthy living? Would you agree with Jim Rohn? Take a moment to pause this video and just record your thoughts in your learning journal. There's a great power in words, and they can be used to build relationships through encouraging others. Words are a powerful method to encourage others, but why should you encourage others? Here are 6 reasons. First, you make other people really feel good. You are going to keep their fire lit or keep them motivated. You're going to gain an ally that will bring you opportunities in the future. You're going to make 2 friends that will never forget you. It'll keep you motivated. You will create ripples in the world. I love the movie Pay It Forward. It stars Kevin Spacey, and it's not that far-fetched. The person you encourage can change the world by following your lead. Think this through. Everyday progress, even a small win, can make all the difference in how people feel and perform. Encouraging others is an important part of a family, a group of people, and even a community. Everyone is doing their best in this world, and sometimes a kindly word of encouragement can help others realize that they're not alone. Also, moreover, encouragement is a way of recognizing the good others do and seeking more of it. Recently, my daughter and I went through a drive-thru. We were astonished when the young lady who opened the window was covered in tattoos and earrings, and she scowled. She was a very unhappy lady. As I handed over my cash to pay for the milkshake for my daughter, I looked at her and noticed that she had the most beautiful, vibrant eyes I'd ever seen. Such a gorgeous color, just an amber color. I said to her, "You have the most beautiful eyes I have ever seen." This surly girl, who had treated us with such disdain just seconds before, smiled largely, and she just said, "Thank you very much. I really needed a compliment today." Just remember that applauding success acknowledges that people matter. It could be a small thing. It could just be a compliment. But notice and make sure that they recognize that their effort means a lot to you, whether a person is known to you or even that stranger. So I would recommend that you take the challenge today to just encourage someone. Give a compliment to someone who crosses your path. Just ponder for a moment and write down in your learning journal, how can you build relationships through encouragement?